So
We're back.
we're back. Another drive and another chance for us to talk about our sailing in the South Pacific. So last time we left off at the Galapagos, we were getting ready to leave. We had our last meal with Fred and Ita, who are buddy boats. They couldn't leave at the same time that we did because they were waiting for Fred's brother to get on board. So we left on a good weather window. And let's see, one of the things that we saw on the way was the fishing fleet, the Chinese fishing fleet.
Oh my gosh, it was not just a fleet. It was like gauntlet.
A gauntlet.
It was a gauntlet
really was.
because there were so many boats. If you look down on the radar, there was just looking at the radar, you would think, how are we going to get to our destination with all these boats in the way? Because it was the most boats we had ever seen on our radar.
Yeah, and we actually altered our course to go through the thinnest part of, or the fewest ships that we could see. And even then, once we got close to them, we had to adjust our course a couple of times to get around them.
Yes, and of course it happened during my watch.
And at night, once the sun set, the lights from these boats was like you were looking at a city, basically.
Yeah, it was very eerie at the same time because you know that there's no land there or anything, but it was like all these boats, their lights were on, so it just looked like, oh, that's an island.
Yeah.
But it was just boats after boats after boats.
So that was it for our passage.
And I found it interesting too that it was in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it was close to the Galapagos, but you're right, just outside of
close, but not that close that they
right.
were coming from the Galapagos. It's like they sailed far.
Way across. It was a Chinese fishing fleet, and then we're all the way over near South America, basically.
Yeah. So, and you're not. I don't think that's usual.
I guess it is.
I guess it is now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was interesting to see Chinese boats all the way in the South Pacific, so far from.
And so many of them. It was a huge number of boats.
Yeah, it was a flotilla.
So then, after that, we really didn't see any boats or ships for the rest of our passage. The weather was good. I mean, we basically did not have any storms, and it took us 3 weeks, 20 days, to get from the Galapagos to the French Marquesas, and where we ended up first, the first island in the Marquesas was Hiva Oa. So one of the things that happened on the passage along the way was our water maker had a small leak, and so we didn't want to keep running it while I tried to figure out how to fix the leak, and it took us over a week of not running our water maker, so we had to be very creative with how we used our fresh water.
Correct.
We had plenty of water to make it. We made that.
We left the Galapagos with full tank of water,
plus extra gallons. We had 4 of those collapsible water containers. Each one had 5 gallons, so we had 20 gallons extra that way.
And then our clean water tank is
80 gallons.
300 liters.
Well, yeah, 300 liters, 80 gallons.
Right.
And then we also had some extra gallon water jugs that we...
which is plenty for us, plenty for 2 of us. But had we had other people on the boat,
it would have been.
They would not have been
but
good.
But we did things like we obviously didn't use showers for a while, and we
would have spritz bath.
And we used spray bottles basically to do our dishes. So when we cleaned our from cooking, we would use a saltwater rinse first, and then we would finish off with a spray bottle of fresh water, and that seemed to work out really well.
Yeah, and that's what we did for our bird baths also.
Yeah.
We would just spritz down versus opening the shower, taking a full-fledged shower.
Yeah. After about a week and a half of that, I finally came up with a solution that worked and kept the water maker from leaking. It still had a small drip, but nothing too bad, and so we were able to make fresh water and the rest of the trip, and we were fine. It was, again, there was no storms, no big seas really. It was good weather for the whole passage, and that was our longest passage, just the two of us.
Right.
Which was really cool. We got into a good rhythm, and I don't think we had any problems after
It all
that.
went good.
Okay, so we made it to Hiva Oa, and after 20 days of being on the ocean, it felt really good to walk on land. And the other thing that I think was heightened was our smell. I mean, we were very aware of all the plants that were around the area. We could smell them. It was actually quite pleasant. They do a really good job of keeping their island clean and beautiful. They have flowers planted everywhere.
Yes, you're walking down the sidewalk or walking down the street, and everywhere you go, you get an aroma of a different flower. It's not always the same flower. They had different flowers growing, and it wasn't just like the local or the city, the main city or the downtown area or whatever. It was everywhere. No matter what street you went through, people had their own garden. They're very proud people of their culture and of just keeping their island as clean as possible. I saw nothing. There was no trash on the side of the road or in the street or sidewalk. There was no trash anywhere. They had trash cans where you could put your stuff in, and everybody abided by that.
Yeah, very neat, very well maintained, very proud of their home. And it's a beautiful island, and really, if you look at the Pacific, you have to know where to look, because if you don't, you won't see their islands.
Yeah.
They're
so small.
But these islands are beautiful, different from what we were accustomed to in the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean, yeah.
Very tall mountains, very lush, and again, very clean. So we rented a car one day, and we went around to the other side of the island, and we got to experience the way that they built their roads on these very steep mountains. It was an adventure. Yeah.
That was an interesting adventure.
And you know those signs where they say "Watch out for falling rocks"? Well, there were legitimate places where we had to worry about rock slides or even mudslides as we were driving over to the other side. The tikis in Hiva Oa are the biggest tikis that we saw throughout French Polynesia. Even on Tahiti, which is kind of interesting. I would have thought that in Tahiti they would have had bigger tikis, but no. These were the biggest ones that we saw. It was a beautiful scene. I mean, it was in a very peaceful area. Just the scenery there was amazing. We stopped at a little road stand, and we bought some refreshments and these chips. Remember that?
Which one?
It was like
ones?
The orange ones.
I don't think that they're native to the land. I think that they were
probably from China.
They're from China. Yes, and it was, to me, I got them because I thought it was it looks like an onion ring, maybe like a Funyuns or something like that. But it was cheesy.
It was interesting. It was very good, actually.
It was very good. But it was like almost like Cheetos, but not.
Yeah. So we enjoyed that little stop. We enjoyed looking at the tikis, and then we drove back to the other side of the island where we were anchored at, and we drove up the coast, and we saw these beautiful waterfalls coming off the top of this mountain range. And it had just rained, and so the waterfalls were really quite.
Beautiful to watch.
I was surprised
to
with
see,
how many
yeah.
of them there were.
Yeah, in one certain area, we counted about 11 of them.
Right, all like going across the ridge of the
right.
mountain. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. And we went to this small church in a little, I guess, plateau or valley area near the coast, and that was a pretty setting. I mean, beautiful flowers again.
Lots of things to see and do.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was our experience in Hiva Oa. And then we moved on from there to our next island in the French Marquesas, Fatu Hiva, which is the most remote, I guess, of the islands. There's only a couple hundred people that live there. There's 2 villages on there. And
there's no restaurants there.
No, so you go if you want. What you have is you can there's local families, and you can arrange to have a dinner like a traditional Marquesan meal with them. Which,
yes, at a for fee, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But and how they just lay out a whole plethora of food and different foods. That you don't usually eat in the States or even in Europe or anything like that. This is very traditional South Pacific.
The way that they cook the meat is you think of like what they would do for a luau, where they have a pit with coals in there, and then they put the meat in there, and they covered it with some blankets and then palm leaves.
Then palm leaves on top of the blankets.
Yeah, and it was again, it was wonderful, a good meal. It was a good experience culturally for us to try some things that we had not tried before.
Right.
We met up with our friends from Fred and Ita, who had left after we did from the Galapagos. We met them there, and we had that dinner with them. We also went to see a waterfall, although since that was their first landfall after 20 days at sea. It was just Fred and I and his brother Tony who went up to the waterfall. It was quite an adventurous climb, and it was nice. It was a nice waterfall to go see.
One of the things that really surprised me about these islands is like that one in particular. There's no school there. Once they're no high school.
Right.
So once they reach the high school age, they send their children or their high schooler to Fiji to attend
Tahiti.
Tahiti, sorry.
Yeah, Tahiti.
They send their children to Tahiti to attend high school.
Right.
Some come back and some don't come back.
Right, especially in Fatu Hiva, it's really tough because it's such a agricultural setting. So it's difficult for them to have their young ones go off to. I mean, they're not like their high school age, and then also sometimes they may end up in serving in the army or the military for a couple of years, which is organized, I guess, by the French military. It's a French overseas territory, so it's tough. Right. It's a tough situation for them. Very welcoming people. We were loaded up with fresh fruit, papamoose and bananas.
Yeah, all you need to do is just walk down the streets and you're looking for fruit. They are very good. They're very eager to sell their fruits or their vegetables to you. So we ended up getting some bananas and papamoose and pineapple and star fruit, I think it was.
Yeah.
And there was something else that we
all
got.
for like $5.
Yes, yes, but it's fresh from their own gardens. Yes. And they grow it, and that was what. It's not that we said, okay, $5. No, that's
we asked them what they wanted, and
how much, and we paid what. And
we actually had to talk them up to $5.
Yes, because we felt it was just so much for what we were paying. So we offered them, we gave them more than what they had asked, and then they felt like they had to give us more food. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God,
we can't carry all of it.
Yeah, it was tough, but it was fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. It was delicious.
Yeah, all natural too. I
All
mean, that
natural.
was
So
like,
yeah, it was great.
So then from Fatu Hiva, we sailed up to.
Oh, we forgot. We saw the biggest.
Oh yeah, when we were anchoring in Hanababe
When we first
Bay,
got
yeah.
there, we saw the biggest manta rays. We had. I mean, it was like my hands stretched out both ways. That's how big it was.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
They were huge,
So, yeah,
beautiful, graceful, just flowing in the water.
I wanted to jump in the water, but we were in the middle of trying to find a place to anchor, so I couldn't.
By the time it was time to get in the water, they were gone.
Yeah. So then from there we went to the island of Tahuata, and we anchored in this bay that's known for the spinning dolphins, and we got to see the spinning dolphins early one morning. They were just like that's the largest pod of dolphins I had seen so far
ever. And not only that, to me, you know, you go to SeaWorld or one of these water parks or whatever, and the dolphins are trained to do that. The spins are trained to do whatever, but these dolphins, there was no train. They
just did it on their own.
They just did it on their own, and I didn't even know there was such a thing as spinning dolphins.
We sat there and videotaped quite a long
Quite a
time,
lot,
so.
yes. It was just
neat,
beautiful to watch. Yeah.
And then we moved to another anchorage in Tahuata, and it was a nice. That was probably the nicest beach in that area, in the French Marquesas. Beachy area, because the islands are very steep typically, and so the coastline is rocky, but in this area there was a beautiful white sand beach.
Is this where we met Sue and Graham?
Yes.
Okay, we met a lot of different couples there, and that was really all the boaters that were anchored there decided to have like a cookout or a little barbecue, so we all gathered together and on shore and
someone had put together like a little hut with seats.
Not a boater. It was somebody, someone from the island, put together a little hut and where you could put your things in and get some shade, and that was really neat to be a part of that.
And beautiful artwork.
Yeah, there was some artwork that from the husks, the coconut, not the husk. ¿Cómo se llama eso?
Yeah.
Yep, husk. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. From the husk, someone had drawn different designs on them and hung them, kind of like pinned them on the walls of the hut. That was really neat to see that. But we had a great time there.
Yeah, it was
we got to meet some amazing people.
That was a very good relaxing break after the passage, and that was one of the first places that we felt like we could just relax for a bit after our passage.
Yes.
So that was Tahuata, and then from there we went up to Nuku Hiva, and Nuku Hiva was interesting. It was the biggest of the most populated of the French Marquesas, and we were also waiting for our part to come in, the actual replacement hose for our water maker. So we waited there a few extra days. We went to different bays like Daniels Bay. It was just impressive to see all the mountains coming right down to the shoreline.
Beautiful.
We went with our friend and Ida, and we rented a car and we drove up into the mountain ranges there, and I was like shocked. I mean, we had seen a little bit of this when we drove across Hiva Oa, but in Nuku Hiva, when you got up into the mountains, you were in a valley in between the mountains, and you could swear you're in North Carolina or Virginia here in the United States.
Yeah, I was very surprised that we had seen like pine trees, and I'm like, it looked. And then we also saw like a horse farm or horses running. I'm like, we had not seen horses before there. I mean, in the islands, but it was very surprising it felt like we were back in the States. So that was very interesting.
Yeah, and so that was a really neat experience. We got to eat at this nice little roadside stand where they made some hamburgers. and they were good, but they put a lot of sauce on those burgers.
Yeah, if you have to remember to say no sauce or anything, because usually hamburgers there, they have some kind of local sauce that they put on there. But where we sat to,
the view
was just amazing. It was just at the end of a cliff, so that's where they put all the seats, and so you got to see this beautiful view out there.
Yeah, and we also got to see more waterfalls off in the distance, and it was just a beautiful island.
Yes.
We finally received our replacement hose, and then we decided to sail on from there. And the next stop for us we would be leaving the French Marquesas and moving on to the Tuamotus. So after we left Nuku Hiva, it was a 3-day sail down to the first of the islands, or atolls, not islands, atolls in the Tuamotus. The first one we went to was called Raroia, and it was our first atoll that we experienced, and it was actually quite beautiful. It's totally different from where we had been in French Marquesas. The island, they're not islands, they're atolls, and they're...
What is an atoll?
It's basically like a small... the land is very low, and no mountains whatsoever, and you just have enough of a reef around the atoll to protect
the islands,
the inside of it. And so people typically live on this fringing part wherever there's some land, and so it's really remote, for example, and the people there usually survive off of copra farming or pearl farming, and so it's very, very remote. We went to Raroia first. That's where the Twin Palms Resort, which is not really a resort.
Is that where the wall of sharks is?
No. This one was where the Thor Heyerdahl had put together a raft in South America, and they sailed this raft from South America to towards the French Polynesian Islands in the South Pacific, and they made landfall here in Raroia, And so we anchored there. We had to avoid the bommies. This is where we first got to use the floating chain.
I was a little nervous because we had never done that before, so I wasn't sure, how to do it exactly, but it's a lot easier than what I had thought.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well. But it's kind of neat to see that.
Yeah, and the water in that area is just absolutely
blue,
beautiful,
crystal
clear.
Blue. You see all the way down.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. Blue. I had not seen water like that other than in maybe the Bahamas. Yeah.
And it's like an aquarium in our backyard. We had these beautiful fish come up to our boat every time we used our sink, and food went down the sink. They were feasting off of us, and it was just beautiful snorkeling there, and we enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yes.
And
this is where also too, I think this is where we kind of first started seeing some white-tipped sharks or black-tipped sharks.
Black-tipped sharks. We got some black-tipped sharks. They're smaller ones.
They're smaller. They they say that they're not aggressive, but a shark is a shark.
So then we went from Raroia, we went to Makimo, and Makimo was, I think, our favorite of the Tuamotus.
Yes.
The anchorage there, we got to meet 2 families that were copper farmers, and the water there again, and the snorkeling there was absolutely
crystal clear,
beautiful.
Blue, beautiful, gorgeous.
Yep. And then we also had a cookout there, and the family, we asked permission if we could have a cookout on their beach, basically, and they said yes to us, and we thought, okay, well, that's great. We get to do that all on our own. And so Fred and I were looking for wood to make the fire, and the local, he just looked at us and he shook his head and he said no. He basically communicated to us that he and his son would take care of it for us, and they basically showed us how to make a really good barbecue using coconut husks. And when we came back with our food to put on the fire, they had some coconuts already cut open and ready for us to drink the coconut
water,
from.
which was amazing. I love coconut
Yeah,
water.
it's nothing like
Fresh coconut water.
So it was really a great experience for us, a good cultural exchange, and we got to have a good cookout there.
What's interesting is that they really don't speak French; they speak their own language.
Yeah, they do speak a little bit of French, but it's also
very minimal.
Yeah.
So the communication was a little bit hard, difficult, but even so, we were able to get the gist of what they were saying and then get the gist of what we were saying. So
that was really cool. And again, that was our favorite one. We stayed there for a good amount of time.
Yes.
We left there and we went to Fakarava, which is famous
another
favorite. Yeah. This one is famous. The South Pass is famous for the wall of sharks. So the ladies decided to stay on the boat, and Fred and I went snorkeling a couple times in the South Pass. We didn't scuba dive there, and you have to really scuba dive to get down to where the bigger sharks are, but we saw plenty of black-tipped sharks, and these were bigger black-tipped sharks. I mean, not huge, but they were just bigger than the ones we had seen so far. We moved from the South Pass up to Hiva, which is another little anchorage in Fakarava, and that was a beautiful area. There was a nice bit of land there that gave some protection, and it was very calm anchorage, but it was also a place where many people were learning how to kite surf or wing foil, and you can go snorkeling. They had cookouts there as well. A beautiful beach area. Giselle had her hair cut there by one of the families, a young family, where the father was an instructor. He taught taught the people how to kite surf and things like that. And she
is the one that would take the people, whoever wanted to go spear fishing or go to the wall of sharks or anything like that. She's the one that would take them. They had a little 3-year-old girl. A little 3-year-old girl, cute family.
Yeah.
Very open and outgoing. It was a nice experience to meet them and see how they're,
how they live.
Yeah. So they live on a boat. Also, they live on land. They live there.
So that was a great experience. And then we left. Fakarava was the last of the Tuamotus. After that, we sailed down to Tahiti, and that was the first of the Society Islands.
Well, there's one thing that I wanted to say about the Tuamotus was that all these islands, they have like a natural reef around them. So once you're trying to get inside the reef, the waters, the current, it feels like a washing machine. It's not a smooth passage in. So that is always... He would call it adventurous. I would not call it adventurous. But
we did time it right.
But we did. But we would.
The best possible time.
Exactly. Yes. He's a very cautious sailor, which is great. Which is one of many of the reasons why I feel I trust him. So, but yes, it feels like a washing machine. You're being pushed around by different things: the wind, the waves, the currents. So. But once you get inside, there's none of that. Yeah. It's very calm, very easy sailing, motoring.
All right, so we made it down to Tahiti, and this is where we had some family come down and meet us. We had your sister come down and meet us again, and she stayed with us for about a week, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we went snorkeling right there in Tahiti. We also went up to across to Moorea and snorkeled for a day there. And then we came back to Tahiti so that because she needed to fly back out. We did drive around the island of Tahiti with her, and we saw some waterfalls. And
that's what we went to see the The skull, the
Yeah, the wall of that's we did with my sister and brother-in-law when they came.
That's right. Sorry.
We got to go
Where
to
the
the Wall of
Olympics.
Skulls,
Which is where they did the Olympics, the surfing Olympics,
right.
which was amazing.
And that we got to go out on a boat and go near the pipeline waves, and that was pretty impressive.
Very much so.
Not only seeing them as they're coiling over and coming, near you, but then as they go past you, as they roll past you, you see the spray of water come off the top edge of them, and it's just
beautiful.
amazing. It's
Beautiful.
it's wonderful. Then after we spent some time with my sister and her brother-in-law there as well, touring around the island and doing that. We went back to Moorea. They left us when we were in Moorea, and from Moorea we went to another one of the Society Islands. It's actually like almost two islands that are close together, Raiatea and Taha'a. And
Beautiful islands, both of them. Beautiful anchorages too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that first anchorage that we were at in Raiatea, which is right near our anniversary, we were the only ones in that anchorage.
Yeah.
And we got to take our dinghy across to a resort and have a wonderful lunch there at that resort. It was beautiful scenery. I mean, we were looking right over, the whole ocean there, and very
Beautiful.
peaceful, great food. Again, with the French Islands, the food is always awesome.
Yes, it is.
We also got to see a ceremonial site there in Raiatea.
That was really neat to see.
It was the biggest one of the ceremonial sites, and rightly so. We learned that Raiatea was considered the center of French Polynesia.
Yeah.
And everything kind of stemmed out from there. And so when they would go sailing out in their canoes, basically the central island was Raiatea.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't realize this, but a week after we left Raiatea, there's a canoe that they use to basically practice the old ways of navigation and the old methods had come to that ceremonial site and anchored right near where we anchored, and came to that ceremonial site. It was, and the locals had gathered and done like this big ceremony, and
We didn't know that was happening,
we didn't know, so we missed out on that.
We missed that.
But that's okay. We went. So that was also the first experience where we actually went to a pearl farm,
Oh yes.
and we got to see a little
How
bit
they
of the
harvest the
process,
pearl,
right?
yeah.
And you got some pearls.
I got some pearls.
So first of all, your sister got you some pearls in Tahiti,
In Tahiti, she did. She gave me these earrings, which
Yeah.
I love. Yeah.
and then you got some more pearls in Raiatea.
Yes.
One more pearl, I think it was on a
pearl.
necklace.
Yeah, the necklace. Yeah.
And then we went over to the island right north of that. It's called Taha'a, and that was a
Yeah,
really
that was
nice place for us.
Yeah, definitely worth the visit there too.
We got to go to another pearl farm, the Champon Pearl Farm there. Great. They have some, basically they have a bunch of mooring balls set up so that people can use that. And, all you have to do is go, you don't have to buy anything, but you go look at the pearls in their store, and you get to learn and see how they process the pearls. And it was amazing how fast they were going through that.
Yeah.
Just amazing, and how quickly they could process and get to extract the pearls from the plants.
Extract and plant.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, and reseed them.
Reseed, yeah.
So, got some more pearls there, didn't you?
I did.
We also went to.
And they're not your traditional white pearls
No,
or anything.
no,
It's
no.
they're black pearls.
Yeah.
So, which is more to my taste. So,
That's not the curse of the black pearl. Not that pearl.
not that pearl.
We also went to see a vanilla plantation or a vanilla farm.
And
We got some actual
vanilla beans from there.
Vanilla beans from Taha'a.
Which I was very excited because years ago, I bought some beans to do perpetual vanilla, and I did that for a couple years, and then, like everything else, you let it go. So it was neat to go back. It was neat to go to this vanilla farm and buy some pods there and some beans, and then to do the same thing all over again. So that was really neat.
We also got to go to a rum distillery there.
That was really neat
and
too.
See their
Good
process,
rum, and
right?
see how they do that.
Yeah. So that was awesome. And that was Taha'a.
Definitely worth the visit. Beautiful island, beautiful people.
Yeah.
Great food.
Yes. And then from Taha'a, it was a short couple-hour sail to the island that we had been seeing in the sunset for several nights as we were anchored in Taha'a, which was the last big island in the French Polynesia that we would be visiting, Bora Bora. And in Bora Bora, there's no places to anchor really, only one small one by the airport, but everywhere you go in Bora Bora, you pick up a mooring ball, and they maintain the mooring balls, and
which is great.
Yeah.
Because a lot of places don't maintain. You don't know. You end up having to dive in. You dive in to check how it's secure it is. But here in Bora Bora, they do maintain their mooring balls, and they take care of it.
So we and the mooring balls are at least where we stayed was in a really cool spot where we basically could dive off the back of our boat, and we were diving off of, looking at reefs and things like that. So
that was really neat.
Cool.
It was that was a great anchorage there.
Yeah. And then we also went to another one where there's a large number of blacktip sharks and stingrays and fish that
just come up to you.
Because they have tour boats that go there, and they experience that as well. So that they do some feeding. So I'm very careful around those situations because the fish have been conditioned to associate people with food. So
yes.
But anyways, nothing happened there. It was just really neat to see how many there were and how they were not shy about coming up and coming close.
Yes.
We went around the island of Bora Bora to the other side, so we got to go past all of the really expensive and beautiful resorts that are right over the water. I mean, you could just literally you could dive off of the back of your porch
but we could do that off of our boat. So.
Yeah. We went to another mooring field over on the other side, and that was a nice experience too. They had really nice beach area, and then we also went to this place called the aquarium,
and it was truly an aquarium.
So many fish. We saw
gorgeous, all kinds of different fish,
and we even saw moray eel, which we hadn't seen before. Lots of stingrays.
Oh no, that's not the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that was really cool. We also got there this time. The timing worked out for us. We got to Bora Bora during their Hiva festival.
Yes, we got to experience that. That was
awesome. Not only did we get to see like a outrigger canoe race, which
they
by the way,
right by our boat.
Yeah, right. We were moored near the main island, and that morning they had races, and I was like, what is all that noise that's going on? And we poked our heads up, and there were these outrigger canoes racing right by all the boats in the mooring field with all their support.
And then they had people on boats that were
coaching them
or supporting them, encouraging them, cheering them on. So that was kind of neat.
But then that was all part of their Hiva festival, which every night except for Sunday nights they had a demonstration of singing and dance.
Yeah.
So what you think of the traditional Polynesian singing, choral singing and the dancing?
Beautiful.
That was awesome. That was like, wow.
Highlight.
Yeah. So
and that was The fee for that was
$10.
about $10 per person, which is amazing because you are seeing a traditional.
This is like real
folklore
traditional,
dance and music, and it was just beautiful, amazing.
Yeah. So then, finally, the time had come for us to leave French Polynesia. We had stayed up until the 90th day, and we needed to check out of French Polynesia because our U.S. passports allow us 90 days in French Polynesia, and that started all the way back when we first landed in the French Marquesas at Hiva Oa. And so now we were leaving French Polynesia. We made one more stop as we left Bora Bora. We stopped in the island of Maupiti, and that's where I got to go snorkel with a manta ray. And that was finally a bucket list item that I had wanted to check off, and I got to do it. That was so cool. And then that was it. Our next stop after French Polynesia would be Tonga. And we'll talk more about that in the next bit.